Hello, everyone. Welcome to another very special episode of the Culture Cauldron. I'm Maya, and I have two very special guests with me here. I have Lav.Lew in the middle, who just had two great performances, and I have Miss Colleen on the other side. For those that don't know, we are actually here highlighting, Black artists for Black Heritage Month and just like two sides of the Black experience. So, it's really amazing to have you here, Lav, and just to kind of like give an introduction, like how does it feel really, of course, like being a Black man in America, but also how do you think that really influences your style, like as a rapper, as a melodic artist, if you want to kind of give us a little bit of introduction to that?
Definitely, I feel like it plays the soul of it really has a big aspect of it. Growing up, like one, I don't want to say every Black family has grown up in a church or has that upbringing, but like at least for me, what it means to be a Black man was having that upbringing in a church home. So like hearing the soul in the choir, even when the pastor get up and he'll be talking, but he's talking the way where he sounds like he's singing, like. So like that's just what I bring in. Like I try to keep into my music and what it just really means for me. I guess if that makes sense.
No, that definitely makes sense, and I definitely can like identify with a similar experience, even though like we're from two different states. But highlighting where you're from, I definitely have a affinity because you are from Miami, Florida,
Of course.
305 Dade County stand up. I just had to put that in there. Come on now, but that's such a specific sound in rap and in hip hop music, like a Florida sound. The South Florida, Broward County, Dade County sound is so specific and so special, and it's just such a highlight of like what's being put out right now. Like, do you feel like that sound has influenced you? If so, like what parts of Miami and of Dade County have really like kind of seeped into your music, or any like Florida inspirations you have, that you want to give a shout out?
I of course, I'm a Florida boy till I die, but most importantly, I'm a Miami boy till I die. 305 till I die. But I would definitely say a lot of North Miami influences where you will have like your artists like Major Nine, you have Lil Dread, you have Kiddo Marv, just to name a few. Uh, really out there doing their thing. I really listened to them a lot growing up. So like you will oftentimes hear me trying to hit my little Major Nine in there, try to get my little Kiddo Marv rhyme scheme going and things like that. So I say that, and then like more recently, I've been listening to a lot more Kodak, and like other Florida rappers that's more in like Jacksonville. So just hearing how they have their own sound going on, because really Florida just have,
Yeah.
we have a lot of different sounds going on right now. We have the Florida drill sound where you got Spot'em in them. Then you got the South Florida, which is more melodic, which I try to stay in. But I'm trying to integrate everything.
Yeah. I mean, that's definitely a point where like every region of Florida you go into, whether you're in Dade, you're in Duval, you're over in like Tallahassee, everything is so dynamic and so unique. And then kind of going into just like your music, I want to highlight the single in the next question, but just like knowing you wanted to make music, when did that start? What kind of topics do you like to write about whenever you're making your music? Like when was really that part of your journey start, and how does it feel really being in your senior year at school and finally making this a real thing?
Right. For me, my interest in music started off in middle school. I wouldn't sit here and say I always had like, oh, I wanted to write about this particular thing. Part of music was just trying to help me find myself, and understand like what I was going through. So as time developed, and as I got stronger as a writer and more people was able to see like storylines in my music, I've started to realize it was more just of therapy, really, just like talking about experiences, talking about things maybe I haven't directly experienced, or I know someone who's experienced it, and just trying to create that music that will have you feeling like you're not alone in the situation. Like I don't want to sit there and put the problems onto the next person, but when you can hear something and be like, all right, I can relate to that, you don't feel alone. Like at least the other person's on the other end.
I think that's amazing and a perfect way to say it. And then one of the songs that you performed today, which is called Vision, which is out right now. So go stream that right after
Definitely
watching this
go stream
interview.
that.
It's coming out now. It's out today. Like, how was it, creating it in the space that you record in and really like, bringing another song to life? Because you've had a couple on your deck, and this is definitely going to be a great one for everyone to hear.
Vision is a little thing that nobody really knows. Vision was a song that actually was one of original songs I started to write when I first started writing. So it's been a song that's actually taken me years to actually write. So to even get to a point where I was able to record it once I met Colleen was like very big to me because how much actually meant to me. It's more of telling the story of a few of my friends and just like really just being lost. And you can hear it in the song. I'm asking my mom like for guidance, like where should I go, like what should I do. I don't necessarily know what I'm doing right now. I want to know what to do. I want to move in the best way possible, but I'm young. So that's really just it's really just that trying to find yourself that I was talking about earlier. That's I really do love about this Vision track that I got out.
Yeah, and I think like especially during the course, there's a lot of lines that are like really heavy hitting and could definitely relate to a lot of people. But highlighting Miss Colleen, who's sitting next to you, for those that don't know, Colleen is a band year student who has done something absolutely incredible. And just knowing her for a little bit, like I am impressed every time I get to interact with her. But she started an artist services company and management company called VisionVerseSoundz, all on her own. She has a roster of artists who she helps like create their vision, hence the name. Put their work out, really support them. And I would love just to see like how you really got the idea to get this started and like what it's been like really bringing this into fruition, because it's just so cool.
Yeah, absolutely. First, just want to say thank you so much for the nice words and for doing all of this. It's been a great experience. So about a little bit over a year ago, I was just really frustrated. I always loved music and I came to school to do music. And I just didn't feel like I was very involved. And I was really frustrated because I was like, this is what I'm here for, and I'm not really doing anything related to it. So I had this cool kind of setup in my apartment last year. I had the attic room. So it was like my bedroom and then kind of like a mini living room. So it was a really cool setup. And I just got to thinking, I know a bunch of artists. I know a bunch of creative people. I'm like a very self-doer person. So I just had the idea a little bit before Christmas break last year to build a studio in my apartment, and then did a ton of research about it over Christmas break and did a bunch of planning, started reaching out to people to try to get them ready to come in the studio in the spring. And then I came back to school a little bit early for the second semester last year and just started building the studio. And then my first idea was to just try to like set up artists that I think would be really good to collaborate together, to just try to have new people like meet each other. And we did that a good amount of times, and I really love doing that. And just like Lewis has met a ton of like really talented artists through it, and I know I've set some other people up with like new collaborators, so that's been really fun. But just as we kind of like started working, I began like Lewis started coming in more regularly, and he started asking me like why I was really doing this, because I don't engineer, I don't produce, I just kind of like built the studio and wanted to have people use it. So my answer was like I just wanted to get more involved, and I've always wanted to be a manager. And after that, he asked me if I would take on the role of managing him. And just after like hearing like the magic happen with him in the studio, I remember the first time like he recorded, it just blew my mind, because I've hung out with Lewis, like we were friends, and I've heard his music before, but the stuff that he like laid down that day and from then on just like really amazed me. So happy I got him on my team. And then since then, just like it's been kind of flowing. Just got three other artists. Shout out to No Solo, NOSO10, Shan X, SHAN.X, and K Slat, all my other artists. And with them, they all kind of help me. Like it's a very collaborative thing, management, artist services company, and they all kind of helped me together come up with the idea for VisionVerse, so that I could also, because they're also, sorry, we can just cut whatever, but they are doing all of these cool things, and they have like proof and they have things to show for it. And I don't really have anything to show for what I'm doing for them. So one of my artists brought that up to me, and that I should like start a company or something to kind of showcase all the work that I'm doing for these artists. So then sparked the idea. At first it was Visionary Productions, and then it's just evolved.
Yeah. Well, I was about to say, when you said that, I was like, you definitely do have something to show. Because I mean, I know those of us that like know you and like, you know, we got to do our capstone together, and like just seeing everything you're building so fast, like you repping for them like represents what you're showing. So definitely, you like don't forget that. But last
Thanks.
question before we wrap, you know, I know it's like building a business, especially building a business at this age. You know, sometimes building a business as a woman can be like very difficult, and it can be a lot of work and a lot of stress. So like, what advice do you have to anyone that really is trying to start their own thing? Like, you know, take their passion and run with it and really create their own like space, create their own company, like any words of wisdom? Because I know a lot of people would definitely could learn from you.
Yeah, I would say believe in yourself. Like, get started. There's so many things. I'm a big researcher, and I think research is really important, but there's sometimes you just have to dive in. Like, research can only teach you so much, and learning hands-on is really like where you're really gonna learn. So if you want to do something, just get started. Keep your eyes open and your ears open, and try to network and speak with anybody that you think you could work with, or you could help, or they could help you, or any sort of collaborative thing. Like, I think it's just all about kind of building like a good team of people that you can trust to push whatever you're trying to do. So.
Okay, well, I love that answer. I'm going to take the answer with me. But thank you both so much for being here and joining us. And everyone, go stream Vision now. Enjoy the performance coming out next week. And yeah, we'll see you next time. Bye.
Thank you. Bye.